Nghệ An Province delegation visited and worked with the Vietnamese Embassy in the United States.
Hamas has lost control in Northern Gaza.
Synchronous solution needed to overcome urban traffic congestion. You are watching today's news on NTV. Let's begin our bulletin with the latest and hottest news. During the working program in the United States, the Nghệ An Province delegation, led by Mr. Nguyễn Đức Trung, Deputy Secretary of Provincial Party Committee, Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, visited and worked with the Vietnamese Embassy in the United States.
At the meeting, Ambassador discussed the results of Vietnam's cooperation with the United States in recent times. The ambassador highly appreciated Nghe An Province for choosing the United States as a partner to attract investment in the current period. Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee also quickly informed the ambassador about the socio-economic situation of Nghe An Province, the results of attracting local FDI investment, work results of the Nghe An Province delegation in Dallas City, Texas. He expressed his wish that the ambassador and the Vietnamese Embassy in the United States continue to be an important bridge to support in connecting Nghe An Province to important U.S. partners on investment, trade.
From November the 7th to November the 11th, the delegation from Nghệ An Province, led by Mr. Hoàng Nghĩa Hiếu, Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, has had a working visit in Japan. This is part of a series of activities to mark the 50th anniversary of establishing diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Japan of Nghệ An Province.
On the morning of November 7th, the delegation visited and worked with the Gifu Provincial Agricultural Technology Center, learning about advanced agricultural technologies. Next, Comrade Hoang Gia Hu and other members of the delegation visited and worked with Yabashi Company, one of the Japanese enterprises investing in Nghe An Province. Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee did hopes that the company will be a bridge to promote commercial cooperation activities, especially in areas of Japan's strengths such as agriculture, information technology, mining, and manufacturing. On November 8th, the delegation had a meeting and working session with the Gifu Provincial Chamber of Commerce and Industry. According to Jetro statistics, Vietnam is the second Southeast Asian country after Singapore to receive attention and investment from Japan, and it is hoped that Nghe An Province will be the destination for Japanese businesses in general and Gifu Prefecture in particular.
Israeli army say that after consecutive attacks by Israeli infantry, Hamas forces had completely lost control of northern Gaza Strip.
Accordingly, Israeli forces have destroyed a total of 130 Hamas underground bunkers, removing hundreds of opposition fighters from the combat zone. Along with the escalation of the conflict in Gaza, cross-border fighting between Israel and Lebanon has also continued to increase worryingly. According to regional media, on November 8th, the Hezbollah force in southern Lebanon conducted 3 rounds of cross-border bombardment with drones, mortar shells, and anti-tank missiles on a number of positions of the Israel Defense Forces.
Coming up next are some updated news.
Vietnam was elected as a vice president of the 42nd session of the UNESCO's General Conference in Paris, with the country representing the Asia-Pacific region. This is the first time Vietnam is taking on the roles at 4 key mechanisms of UNESCO simultaneously, including being a member of the UNESCO Executive Board, being vice chair of the UNESCO Intergovernmental Committee of the 2005 Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of Cultural Expressions for the 2021 to 2025 tenure, and member of the UNESCO Intergovernmental Committee of the 2003 Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage. They will provide opportunities for the nation to become more involved in the formation of policies and import decision of UNESCO.
Vietnam Electricity Group has issued decisio on adjusting the average retail electricity price by 4.5% from November 9. Accordingly, The electricity price increases from 1,920 Vietnamese dongs to a new price of more than 2,000 Vietnamese dongs per kilowatt-hour, excluding VAT. With the above adjustment, the average retail electricity price increased by more than 86 Vietnamese dongs and 41 ZU per kilowatt-hour. Thus, from the beginning of the year to now, EVN has twice adjusted electricity prices and implemented within its authority, with increases of 3% and 4.5%. With two increases of price this year, electricity prices have increased by more than 142 Vietnamese dongs and 35 ZU per kilowatt-hour. The European Commission has just released a report on European Union expansion, which proposes starting membership talks with Ukraine and Moldova. During the press conference, the President of the European Commission highly appreciated the in-depth reform efforts that Ukraine has made over the past year, although it has continued to face great difficulties due to the hostilities. Among the 7 criteria that Ukraine needs to meet to comply with the common values of the European Union, the most important thing is to build an independent judiciary and anti-corruption. The journey to join EU of Ukraine may be long and fraught with many obstacles, including disagreement from members like Hungary. The proposal to open negotiations must be approved by leaders of member countries at the next summit on the 15th of December.
With the rapidly increasing numbers of personal vehicles, infrastructure not meeting demand, traffic congestion in urban areas is a long story without an end. There is a great need for many breakthrough, synchronous and scientific solutions to solve the anti-traffic congestion sustainably.
Traffic congestion during rush hours has happened for many years. Nghe An is one of the top 5 localities with the highest numbers of personal cars bought in the country. Currently there are nearly 178,000 cars registered and in circulation, of which about 70% are concentrated in Vinh city. To limit traffic congestion, in recent years, Vinh city has not allowed the construction of more high-rise apartment buildings, focusing on construction of key transport infrastructure projects, expanding some road junctions and main streets, building overpasses.
To solve the problem of traffic congestion, in the long term, we must develop public transportation and limit personal transportation. The second solution on infrastructure, we must invest synchronously and complete according to plan.
To overcome this situation, planning to develop urban traffic network must ensure to be in line with urban construction planning, set aside a reasonable land fund to develop transport infrastructure, ensuring equal to 16% to 26% compared to urban construction land.
Traffic infrastructure must be synchronized, traffic organizations such as signal lights and traffic islands must be maximized, and strong measures must be taken to handle violations. There must be a transportation system serving the inner city.
Along with mobilizing investment resources for rapid development, synchronizing traffic infrastructure appropriately, it is necessary to persistently build a culture of law enforcement and civilized behavior when participating in traffic.